So let's introduce these wines that you have here. In glass number 1, always go from left to right. Probably should turn it around for you guys, but glass number 1 for me is the Sorelle. So the Sorelle is called Sorelle because it means sisters in Italian, and it's made up of 55% Fiano and 45% Vermentino, which are both Italian varietals. So this blend is named after the fact that it's 2 Italian sisters blended together. The thing about this wine is it's really got beautiful, subtle rose musk aromas. And when you put it in your mouth, please try not to drink it too cold. It's best if it's not too cold. It's got this beautiful, supple mid-palate. So on that beautiful, rich mid-palate, about the middle of your tongue there, is where you perceive fruit sweetness. And so when I say fruit sweetness, I'm talking about the flavour of the wine. So wine has different components to it, and they're all affected by the 4 major tastes of salty, acid, bitter and sweet. But wine has alcohol, which is kind of a sensation, a burning sensation on the middle of the palate to the back of the palate, down even to the back of the throat sometimes. You've got acid, which you can perceive. You can see the little acid map on the tongue there. It's perceived on the sides of the cheeks. You've also got a thing called tannins. Now, tannins are the thing that impart bitterness to pretty much every wine. What we are looking for in a wine is not too much bitterness and sometimes none at all. So this wine does have a touch of tannin. Tannin is the drying sensation that you get on the inside of your mouth. So it's a little bit like tanning the skin cells on the inside of your mouth. And that's actually what they used to do. They used tannins out of extracting tannin from the bark of a tree, and they would tan the skin, the hides of animals to make leather. So they're almost interlocking the skin cells on the inside of your mouth. Now, that interlocking feeling of your skin cells being slightly tanned is what we call tannins. So it can be a powdery feeling or a drying sensation. Tannins can come in all different forms. There's a lot of different tannins. It's a word used to describe phenolics, a type of compound. So we get the tannins into wine, and I would like to say in the Sorelle and the Shiraz, from contact with skin. So the Sorelle has had 36 hours skin contact on the Fiano and the Vermentino. So what's happened is the skin is soaking in a big mass of juice. So these ones were machine harvested, so they're knocked off the vine. They're not snipped off. You don't have the stems. It's just a whole heap of berries and skins and juice, and it's all in a big sloshy pool. We left it there for 36 hours so that the tannins and the texture from the skins had time to move from the skins into the juice. At this stage, we pressed off the juice, and then we fermented the Sorelle as we would a normal white wine. So you do have a little bit of texture with Sorelle, and it's really interesting pairing it with, say, the bitterness of a walnut. You can see how those sensations change. A red wine, this is our Barossa Valley Shiraz, Gerla. It's big, it's rich, it's got beautiful juicy fruit, it's got heaps of juicy fruit. And when I say juicy fruit, once again, I don't mean fruit sweetness. Once again, I'm not talking about sugar sweet, I'm talking about the bulginess on the middle of the palate, on the middle of the tongue, about there. And then we have the Riesling, and the Riesling has 9 grams of sugar. This one actually is sweet. Does have a little bit of residual sugar. It's what we call off dry. It's not too sweet. And what we've found with more of the pungent tastes, like bitterness, all those umami flavours that you get from blue cheese and offal and stinky cheeses, is the sweetness of the Riesling really copes with that.